This week, Oregon's Right to Repair Act is signed into law. WordCamp US, hosted right here in Portland. Tickets are on sale now. Pendleton, Oregon seeks applicants for their new drone startup Accelerator. The AI Portland organizers launch a new podcast. Westside Pitch takes place April 3rd. Let's get into it. Talked a little bit. I am so sorry. I don't know what it is. I had a lot of good meetings today. Had a lot of good meetings this week. I've met with some really interesting founders working on cool stuff. I met with amazing event organizers and people who are bringing community together. I've had just a great Portland startup community week. So I wish I would quit tripping over my words. I'm so sorry I've lost the ability to speak as I'm trying to tell you about all the things that have happened this week. But it is what it is. This is what you get. This is how I delivered the news. So please stick with me. Hope you're having a good week. It's been a relatively quiet week, spring break. And yet, even though it's quiet, there's still news. There's still news to share about what's going on in the Portland startup community. Big news this week in Oregon was the passage of the Right to Repair bill. Now, a number of states have been pursuing right to repair bills, but the big deal about the Oregon bill is it's one of the strongest in the US. Part that made the bill stronger and will make the law stronger when it goes into effect next year is really this clause on parts pairing. So I'd like to read a little passage from The Verge to you that really describes what that aspect of the act actually means. Oregon rules are the first to ban parts pairing, a practice manufacturers use to prevent replacement components from working unless the company's software approves them. These protections also prevent manufacturers from using parts pairing to reduce device functionality or performance or display any misleading warning messages about unofficial components installed within the device. Basically saying you can use replacement parts that didn't come from the original manufacturer. So you're not always having to pay for the highest end brand name parts what an aftermarket part may do. This just passed both the House and Senate during the short session in Oregon. The governor signed it into law. This will go into effect next year. So it'll be interesting to see what other states follow suit and if they too include this whole thing on parts pairing. For many people, their first Portland experience comes by way of a big event. That happened quite often when OSCON was hosted here, the open source conference, and it happened with XOXO, where people from out of town would get to come visit, experience Portland, and say, maybe I should think about moving here. The pandemic kind of curtailed that, obviously, but those big events are starting to come back, like WordCamp US, which is the largest gathering in the United States for WordPress users and WordPress developers. This year, this September, it's going to be hosted right here in Portland. So if you're a WordPress user, Silicon Florist is built on WordPress. I've used WordPress for Silicon Florist for more than 16 years. Maybe you're just curious about WordPress. I don't know, maybe you just want to hang out with people who use WordPress. Whatever the case, tickets are now on sale. I'm sure they'll go fast, so make sure and grab yours as soon as you can. Also, if you're interested in sponsoring WordCamp US, there's still sponsorship slots available. I, for one, am looking forward to having a major tech event like WordCamp US here in Portland. And looking forward to all the folks who come to town and visit our city, especially during one of those times of year that the city is really at its best. So if you're coming for WordCamp US, Portland, and I am looking forward to hosting you here. You know me, I'm always looking for the interesting podcasts for you, always trying to let you know. I figure you put up with me doing a podcast. You deserve some good podcasts to listen to as well. There's a new podcast on AI from the AI Portland folks, Supercharged by AI. It's just at the beginning, but I've listened to the first episode and it's really good. I know I'm usually encouraging you to subscribe to this podcast, but this time around, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe to Supercharged by AI. It's going to be that good. So get that in your little podcast thingamajig so it downloads the episodes as they come out and learn a lot more about what's happening in AI and what's happening with the AI Portland crew. Today is the last Friday in March, which, as you know, means that next Friday will be the first Friday in April. You know what happens on first Fridays, don't you? That's right. UpStart Collective holds their first Friday. It's never a question of whether there'll be a first Friday or not. The only question now is which location will be hosting the first Friday, because there are two UpStart collectives now. There's the East Side and the West Side. So your question is probably like, if I want to show up to said first Friday next Friday, which UpStart collective should I be visiting? And the answer to that would be the West Side. So if you're looking to gather with other folks from the community at UpStart Collective, go to the West Side because that's where the first Friday will be. Folks out in Pendleton have started an accelerator specifically for drones, or more precisely, a UAS accelerator. So unmanned aerial systems, I believe is what that acronym stands for. But anyway, if you're working on a drone project, if you could use somewhere to test drive, test fly, I've heard a whole bunch of amazing things about the facility in Pendleton, about the flight paths, about the setups and testing environments they have. If you're looking for mentorship and support from a startup accelerator organization, please look at the Oregon UAS Accelerator. Applications are due this weekend, so if drones are interesting to you, or if you're working on something drone startup-y, please take a look at that accelerator and maybe consider applying. Talked about this last week. Here it is from last week. I found it. Oregon, their Westside Pitch Competition happening April 3rd. I believe tickets are still available. This is in person. 6 companies pitching. There's a pre-seed category and a seed category. And so by this time next week, I'll be able to share with you who won the Westside Pitch Competition. But I highly encourage you to attend in person. The Westside Pitch Competition is probably your best place to get exposed to the companies being built in Washington County. Sorry that was so rough. I don't know. I don't know why. I'm trying to talk. I just don't know what's going on this week. So anyway, hope you're doing well. Hope your spring break was quiet, and I hope you're hanging in there. For those of you who stayed here in town for spring break and didn't travel out to the coast or whatever, I hope you enjoyed the decrease in traffic. It felt pretty quiet around here as I was out and about this week, as spring break often does. Hope things are going well. If you're doing startup-y things, I hope those are going well. And until we get the chance to talk again, please keep up the good work.